Hello, guys. It is not just a rainbow podcast with Catherine. Sorry for such a silly start, but I really find it cute. Today, I am going to cover another question about LGBTQ plus community. Becoming an ally to transgender individuals in your life, or to transgender people as a whole, is an ongoing journey. You can make a difference in simple and easy ways, or by investing more time, energy, and commitment. This guide is here to help you, whether you're seeking advice on how to support a transgender person you know or striving to make the world a more hospitable place for transgender people. It is important to keep in mind some key points when being an ally. There is no single right answer when it comes to being a great ally for the transgender community. Every transgender individual has unique needs and values that are shaped by where they come from, their background, and their beliefs. So, the best way to show your support is to be respectful, do your best, and never stop striving to learn more. It's not necessary to have a perfect knowledge of someone's identity in order to show them respect. It's okay if you haven't heard much about transgender identity or have difficulty wrapping your head around what it means, but everyone deserves to be respected regardless of how much you know about them. It's not always possible to recognize if a person is transgender based on their appearance. People may mistakenly assume they would recognize someone from the trans community, when in fact there is no single way for transgender individuals to present themselves. That's why it's so vital to be an ally and advocate for the transgender community, even if you don't know anyone who is trans. There is not a single, definitive way to identify as transgender. Everyone is free to make their own decisions on how to transition and be themselves. Some transgender people are able to access medical treatment, legal name changes, or change their physical appearance, while others may not have the resources or safety to do so. No matter which path is taken, it does not determine the validity of someone's transgender identity, as everyone's journey is unique. Engaging with people who identify as transgender. Respect every transgender person's individual identity and the language they use to describe themselves. There is no single way to be transgender. Follow the lead of the trans person you are addressing and use the terms they prefer. If you're uncertain of how to address someone, don't hesitate to ask. One way to find out what pronouns they use is to wait and observe the language they use in conversations. If you want to be sure, politely raise the question without making any fuss. A great way to initiate the discussion on pronouns is by sharing your own. For instance, you could say, "Hi, I'm Rebecca, my pronouns are she/her/hers. What about you?" If you make a mistake, apologize and don't make a huge deal about it. Drawing too much attention to a trans individual's pronouns can be uncomfortable and embarrassing. When talking to a transgender person, always exercise caution and thoughtfulness. There are plenty of topics, like medical transition, life before transition, and sexual activity, that you may be interested in, but that doesn't mean you should ask about them. It's best to ask yourself 2 questions before bringing up a topic. Do I need to know this information to treat them respectfully? And, would I feel comfortable if the question was asked of me? Asking for someone's name and pronouns is usually appropriate, but asking about a transgender coworker's surgical history is rarely necessary. Additionally, topics like a transgender person's birth name, before transition photos, hormones, surgeries, and sexual relationships are better left to those closest to them. Be kind and think before you ask. The identity of a transgender individual is their private business to divulge, or choose not to reveal. Just because one divulges such information to you does not mean that they have shared it with everyone else in their life. It is possible for a transgender person to not tell others about their identity for various reasons, such as fear of discrimination, protecting their job security, or simply not wanting to share it with someone. It is not your place to decide who should or should not know a transgender person's identity. It is up to the transgender person to determine how much of their story they wish to share. They may be open about being transgender, but only share medical details with trusted friends. Just because a transgender person has shared something with you does not mean that they want the whole world to know. Rather than making compliments or offering advice that relies on stereotypes of transgender individuals, focus on the person's character. Unintentionally, these types of comments can cause harm to transgender people by bringing attention to their physical appearance and how they should conform to gender roles. To illustrate, here are some statements to avoid since they can come off as insincere compliments. You pass as a woman really well, I would never have guessed you're trans. If you got a wig or changed your makeup, you'd look less trans. No real man would wear that, you should change to hide the fact you're trans. I'd date him even though he's transgender. Speaking candidly. If you're in a large group setting at work or school, here are some tips for being an ally. Speak up when you witness discrimination or exclusion, ask questions to encourage dialogue, and show support for those who are marginalized. Express your backing of the transgender population and their privileges. If someone misuses a transgender person's name or pronoun, gently amend them. Additionally, it is essential to challenge any anti-transgender statements, humor, and talks. It can be intimidating to profess your standpoint, but vocal and evident assistance for transgender rights will demonstrate transgender people that they are accepted, invigorate other supporters to speak out, and help alter the opinions of people who aren't very supportive of transgender people yet. Offer your assistance to the transgender people in your life who face discrimination. Show them that they are not alone and that you will stand by their side, no matter what they decide to do. Let them know that you will be a support system if they want to make a formal complaint to those in power. When it comes to using gender-specific language, take the time to really consider how you're addressing and referring to people. Don't automatically greet a group with, ladies and gentlemen, and try not to have a coworker who only refers to everyone as guys. It's also important to be aware of the gender-based jokes your friends tell. Transgender people may be okay with being referred to as ladies or gentlemen, but the only way to know is to ask first. Do your best to break any habit of making assumptions about someone's gender or pronouns, and encourage those around you to do the same. It can be a challenge, but it's a great way to show your support for transgender people. Discover the regulations influencing transgender individuals. Are there any laws that defend transgender people in your area? Any approaches at the workplace or school that are comprehensive of transgender individuals? It's essential to find out more about the difficulties transgender individuals confront and the objectives of transgender promoters, and, if you're agreeable with it, even aid in pushing for changes in negative laws and approaches or back up positive ones. That's all for today. I hope this episode was useful for you all. Do not forget to share my podcast with your friends and see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.